Yeah, well, hi, friends. Oh, boy, Doc South here with you. And, boy, I guess, well, winter is approaching. It's kind of chilly out here on the deck. I don't know how many more of these deck videos I can do till spring comes around. Man, again, if we get a nice day, what the heck? I kind of like it out here on the old back porch. But I did want to mention we got Veterans Day coming up, and that's a good day to honor, of course, all those who served our country so well in the military. I also kind of like to throw in, folks like police, fire, rescue, all those good people as well, because they're on the front lines also. So, and in many cases, go out facing considerable danger. But I did want to say I actually am a veteran, believe it or not. Yeah, I not much of a veteran, I'm afraid. But I did back in the late '60s. I did enlist in the U.S. Navy and had went to boot camp. Evidently tested real high on my IQ test. Yeah, I mean, they said extremely high. And and even though I really just wanted to be a corpsman, rescue, but they said, oh, no. You're going to that's all well and good, pal, but with your IQ, we want you learning something a little fancier. Nothing wrong with being a corpsman, and there isn't, and it takes quite a lot of brains to do that, and a lot of heart. But we want you to, you're going into something else a little more advanced. Evidently, I don't know, my aptitude test, I was like in the top 2% or some such thing. And it doesn't mean I'm smart. Because it just means you got a high IQ. My father used to say that. Don't, just because you got that, you got good grades don't mean you, yeah. And he's right. He was right. But they said, listen, we want you to go to a security clearance interview, because you're probably going to have some kind of you're going to have need of a security clearance for what we've got planned for you. So I'm thinking, God, they want me to be like James Bond or something. I don't know. Or one of those guys back at HQ that tells Bond he can't go on that mission. It's far too dangerous, and all that. Yeah. The statistics show and, all that kind of thing. Well, okay. And they said, listen, you got to go to a security clearance interview. We want to make sure you're not a commie or something. And I said, well, not a commie. Well, they said, still, go to the interview. Well, I go in the interview. Nice guy. I think an officer actually interviewed me, and he's talking okay. He says, went down this list of stuff. He says, do you do any of the stuff we just mentioned? I said, well, you mentioned marijuana. He says, yeah. I said, well, I've smoked that in college. And he said, you did? Okay, well, we'll write it down here. Anything else? I said, well, I guess now and then maybe some LSD. Yeah, well, again, it was the 60s. He said, okay, I wrote that down. Anything else? I said, no, everything else. No, I'm fine. And he says, well, okay, good. You'll be hearing from us. Boy, that was some test you had on your, you really turned out the high numbers on that test, pal. And I think that's what he actually said, pal. And I don't know, about 8 hours later, I'm in boot camp. I'm in our barracks at boot camp, our compartment, I think. Yeah, I think you call it a compartment in the Navy. And the Chief Hoppy comes out of the South. Get over here right now into my office. I'm, of course, when Chief Hoppy hollered, yes, the world listened and obeyed. I was there before you knew it. He says, hey, sit. He says, I'm standing at attention. He says, at ease, crying out loud. He says, look, he says, I just got word that they want you discharged from the Navy. What's up? I said, what? He says, yeah. He says, you're evidently, you told him you smoked pot? I said, yeah. They said to tell the truth, and yeah, I said, I don't intend to smoke it in the Navy, but I mean, I know the seriousness of, if you want to stay alive on a ship, you better have your wits about you. He says, yeah, well, they're throwing you out. You're kidding. He says, nope. He says, listen, you want to fight it? I said, yeah, of course I want to fight it. And well, then let's start planning. And he actually was talking to me as if I was a normal human being and not a recruit. He says, geez, he says, like, what the heck? Well, you can imagine the language the chief was using. What the Rex are they doing? You're an outstanding recruit. You're showing all our men, all the men in the barracks here in the compartment, that you're showing it. You're getting them through their lessons. You're a really ship-shape guy, and now you're being, doggone it, man. He says this. He went and he actually, we went into an interview with some of the legal people, and Chief actually had one of the officers up against the wall. He actually lifted the guy up and held him up against the wall and said, "You're not throwing out this recruit." And I mean, was shaking the guy. Oh my God! I'm thinking, pretty soon he won't be Chief Hoppy anymore. He'll be. I'll outrank him. And oddly enough, the officer never said anything. I think he realized that he'd probably get a visit when he least expected it from the chief. And chiefs run the Navy anyway. Yeah, the admirals just think they do. And and well, anyway, long story short, I got thrown out. I went to it wasn't quite a court martial, but it was kind of like that. And the finding was, out he goes. And I've always been ashamed of that. I don't know. Honestly, I kind of liked the Navy. I thought it was pretty cool. I had visions of being on a ship, or, of course, as my thoughts about being a corpsman would have been just fantastic. But they didn't. They didn't see it my way, and out I went. It was kind of shameful too, because really some of my friends got injured badly or killed in the service, and there I am, still at home. It felt kind of dumb about that. But later in life, I made up for the deficit by being a volunteer on a rescue squad down south, and actually I got my corpsman experience in, I guess, there, and saved many a person. Yep, saved many a person, and risked my neck more than enough, and dodged a bullet or two down there, and and a few knives and some strangleholds from crazy patients of ours. And also, driving an ambulance isn't necessarily for the squeamish either. And so I guess I guess I repaid the debt, so to speak. But I always felt bad. I always envy people at Veterans Day getting having the, I don't know, just getting the thank yous and the parades and all that stuff, and the good wishes. I kind of at times I kind of wish I had somehow managed to hang on. That would have been, I think, would have been pretty cool. But if nothing else, the Navy food I thought was very good. Yeah. And sleeping, that was about the only bad thing. Real quick, I'll tell you this. In boot camp, of course, they get you up well before the crack of dawn. Sleeping in would be like, 4:30 in the morning. Oh, boy, I got an extra 2 seconds of sleep. But I was in during the fall, and daylight savings time, I forget, does it end or does it begin? One way or another, you set the clocks back an hour, and we did the calculations and realized that We were there. We were going to be. We'd go. It'd be lights out at like 8 o'clock, and then the clocks go back, so we'd actually get an extra hour of sleep, and that was like being told we were going to be given the keys to King Solomon's mine. Yeah. Oh, it was. Oh man, we're going to get an extra hour. Oh, that's going to feel so good. Turns out what happened about the middle of the night, after we set the clocks back. In the middle of the night, a whole bunch of chiefs come running in, turn on the lights, screaming at us, and we had to do calisthenics for like an hour. Then we could go back to bed. Yeah, so we didn't get our hour's sleep. Doggone it. Tell you, what a bummer. Those guys were all heart. But I see their point, now that I think back. I didn't see their point then, but I see their point that you can't be on a... you've got to know how to stay awake. It's yeah. Get your sleep when you can, fine, but then that's why they got coffee on all those ships. Yep, I think there's one whole compartment does nothing but maintain the coffee supply. If they have to send out, they will, for crying out loud. See a chopper landing in a mall somewhere down near Norfolk, and a bunch of sailors get out and buy a grocery store, a supermarket out of its coffee supply for the ship, for the guys back on board. Yeah. Anyway, friends, I'll see you later. Oh, Lord's Prayer moment for our service members. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Yep, keep a sharp lookout there, friends. And I'll see you later. Bye now. God bless.